Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you be pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this county. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just, faithful, and manners to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county, and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Clerk, take us through the order of the day.
Order paper number 179 of today, Tuesday, 14th May 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, Honorable Isalanda, you can proceed and have your seat. Honorable members, I have one communication to make. That today, the public gallery, there is Mr. Moses Udoyo, a student of communication and public relations from Kabianga University. He's also in industrial attachment at the Department of Communication, and I trust that the knowledge and skills he will acquire during his stay will be instrumental in the future endeavors of the country. On behalf of the honorable members, I want to welcome you to the County Assembly of Kisumu. I also want to request that immediately after the plenary, we shall have a Kamkunji that will take maybe 15 to 30 minutes. But on the same note, the chair liaison committee has requested that immediately after that, the liaison committee can meet for some few minutes. There is something that you need to deliberate. It was not possible for the liaison committee to meet today in the morning because there was a consultative forum by the budget committee and the Kisumu County Revenue Board, which I think took majority of the members of the liaison committee. Otherwise, welcome to this session. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Yes, the leader of majority.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise pursuant to orders number 42-2C, which mandates me in my capacity as the County Assembly Leader of Majority to present and lay on the table a statement informing the County Assembly of the business coming before the House on the following week. Honorable Speaker, this is therefore to bring to the attention of members and the County Assembly that for the week commencing Wednesday 15th May to Tuesday 21st May 2024, the Select Committee on Assembly House Business at its last meeting approved the following tentative businesses to appear in the order papers as follows. On Wednesday 15th May 2024 at 9 a.m., papers to be laid. 1. The chairperson of the Section Committee of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development Committee, Honorable Tim Boyton, will table a report on the encroachment of the riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu Ward. Then commencement of business. The chairperson of Peak Park Committee, Honorable Kennedy Ouko, will move a motion for adoption of its report on examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statements of Ahero County Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022. On Wednesday, 15th May 2024 at 2:30 p.m., the notice of motion, the chairperson of the Central Committee of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development Committee, Honorable Tibo Itono, will move a notice of motion that this House adopts the report of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development Committee on the encroachment of the riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu Ward. Substantive business for the day. The chairperson of Peak Park Committee, Honorable Kennedy Ouko, will move a motion for adoption of the committee report on examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statements of Kisumu County Trade Fund for the financial year 2020-2021. On Thursday, 16th May 2024 at 2:30 p.m., papers to be laid. The Leader of Majority, Honorable Kennedy Ouko, laid the following papers on the table of the County Assembly. Reports of the Auditor General on 1. Kisumu County Social Health Insurance Fund for the years ended 30th June 2021, 2022 and 2023. 2. City of Kisumu for the year ended 30th June 2023. 3. County Government of Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme for the fund for the year ended 30th June 2022. 4. Kisumu County Emergency Fund for the year ended 30th June 2023. 5. County Government of Kisumu Receiver of Revenue Statement for the year ended 30th June 2023. 6. County Government of Kisumu Revenue Fund for the year ended 30th June 2023. 7. County Executive of Kisumu for the year ended 30th June 2023. 8. Gulf Water Services Company Limited for the year ended 30th June 2023. 9. Nyanas Water and Sanitation Company Limited for the year ended 30th June 2023. 10. Kisumu County Education Fund for the year ended 30th June 2023. And lastly, Kisumu County COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund for the year ended 30th June 2023. Substantive business for the day. The chairperson of Peak Park Committee, Honorable Kennedy Ouko, will move a motion for the adoption of the committee report on examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statements of Lumumba County Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022. On Tuesday, 21st, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Statements. The Leader of Majority will issue a statement pursuant to orders number 41-2C on the businesses coming before the County Assembly for the week commencing Wednesday, 22nd May 2024. Substantive business for the day. The chairperson of the Section Committee of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development Committee will move a motion for adoption of the committee report on the encroachment of the riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu Ward. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Time. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Adoption of a report of PICPAC Committee on examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statements of Kombewa Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022.
Honorable Kennedy Ken Ouko.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the sake of clarity, I'm reminding the members of the County Assembly that we are going to deal with the moving notes. I hope the detailed motion is escalated in your walls. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, PICPAC, and pursuant to the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders 188, I wish to present to this House the report of the committee on the audited financial statement of Kombewa County Hospital, financial year 2021-2022. The County Assembly exercised oversight over county government entities and investments and the expenditure pursuant to Article 185.3 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 through the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, which in turn derives its mandates from the County Assembly Standing Orders. It is instructive that Article 229.8 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires the County Assembly within 3 months after receiving an audit report to debate, consider the report, and take appropriate action. The committee held 2 sittings during which it received both written and oral evidence from the accounting officer on audit queries raised by the Auditor General on the financial statement of Kombewa County Hospital financial year 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, I wish to register my appreciation to fellow honorable members of the committee, the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the Assembly, the Committee Secretariat and the Office of the Auditor General for the facilitation and the technical support that made the production of this report possible. I also thank the management of Kombewa County Hospital for honoring committee invitations and timely submissions of responses. I'm immensely grateful for the invaluable support extended to us by the National Democratic Institute. The unwavering commitment and generosity demonstrated by the NDIA underscore their dedication to promoting transparency, accountability, and good governance within our assembly and the broader community. We extend our heartfelt appreciation to the National Democratic Institute for their partnership and steadfast support, which have undoubtedly contributed to the success of our endeavor. Special appreciations go to Hansard Department for ensuring that all our meetings with accounting officers are broadcast live. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, I now wish to table the report on the consideration of Auditor General's report on financial statement of the Kombewa County Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022 and urge this Honorable House to adopt it. 3.0. Report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Kisumu of Kombewa County Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022. Honorable Speaker, Dr. Vincent Omondi, the medical superintendent and the accounting officer appeared before the committee on 5th April 2024 at 10:30 a.m. to adduce evidence on the audited financial statement of the Kombewa County Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022. The following officers accompanied the medical superintendent. 1, Bernard Oguda, who is the hospital administrative officer. 2, Geoffrey Omondi, who is a clerical officer. The following officers represented the Office of the Auditor General in the meeting on 5th April 2022. 1, Mr. Kennedy Ongoi, Office of the Auditor General. 2, Mr. Margaret Mawage, Office of the Auditor General. Opinion of the Auditor General. It was a disclaimer opinion. That is for Kombewa Hospital. Honorable Speaker, The opinion of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Kombewa County Hospital financial year 2021-2022 was a disclaimer of opinion. This is the worst opinion that an auditor can give. A disclaimer of opinion is an opinion issued by an auditor indicating that the auditor was unable to obtain sufficient evidence to form an opinion on the financial statement being audited. This occurs when the auditor believes that the information available to them is insufficient, unclear, or lack credibility, making it impossible to provide a clear opinion on the accuracy of the financial statement. Honorable Speaker, the purpose of an audit is to provide assurance to stakeholders that the financial statements are presented fairly and accurately. When an auditor is unable to provide this assurance, they issue a disclaimer of opinion. This type of report is seen as a significant red flag, as it is indicates that the financial statements are unreliable and potentially misleading. Basis of disclaimer of opinion. Honorable Speaker, the following issues formed the basis of disclaimer of opinion. 3.1, presentation and disclosure anomalies in the financial statement. 3.2, inaccuracies in the financial statement amounts. 3.21, variances between financial statement balances and supporting schedule amounts. 3.22, variances between financial statement amounts. 3.24, inaccuracies in statements of financial position. 3.25, inaccuracies in statement of cash flows. 3.26, variance in capital expenditure amount. 3.26, inaccuracies in trial balance. 3.3, anomalies of cash and cash equivalent balance. 3.4, unaccounted for property, plant, and equipment. 3.5, unsupported trade and other payable. 3.6, unsupported medical and clinical expenditure. 3.7, unsupported rendering of services, medical service income amount. 3.8, unsupported general expenses. 3.9, unsupported transfer from the national government. 3.10, lack of supporting documents for medical service gain stroke losses. 3.11, unsupported inventories balance. 3.12, 3.12, failure to implement e-procurement system. 3.13, failure to open facility improvement bank account. 3.14, unsupported. 3.14, unsupported procurement of goods and services. 3.15, stall projects. 3.16, non-compliance with Kenya Quality Model for Health Policy Guidelines. 3.17, failure to establish audit committee and operations of internal audit unit. 3.18, ineffective governance by the board of management. 3.19, failure to conduct annual and quarterly stock take. Honorable Speaker, having considered the written responses from the management of Kombewa County Hospital on the audit queries and having held a meeting with the management and the Office of the Auditor General, the committee makes the following findings. Committee observations. 1, that many occasions the hospital management failed to adhere to the Public Finance Management Act 2012, Section 164(1), which states that at the end of each financial year, the accounting officer for a county government entity shall prepare a financial statement in respect of the entity in formats to be prescribed by the Accounting Standard Board. 2, the committee observed that expenditure amounting to Kenya shillings 2,771,463, consisting of Kenya shillings 869,043 for medical clinical cost, Kenya shillings 1,043,600 on employee cost, that is Kenya shillings. Another one is 858,820 on general expenses will not be accounted for by the management of the Kombewa County Hospital. Those are the committee observations. 3, that in the financial statement of the facility, the management had reported receiving from the county government a transfer of Kenya shillings 8,201,901 Kenya shillings. However, the supporting schedule revealed a transfer of Kenya shillings 8,142,442, leading to an explained variance of Kenya shillings 55,459. The committee established that the county executive had transferred to the facility Kenya shillings 8,162,442 and not the Kenya shillings 8,201,090, which was reported in the financial statement, Therefore, there was no variance. 4, that both debit and credit balances of trial balances did not tally. Debit balance was Kenya shillings 10,631,581 Kenya shillings, and credit balance of Kenya shillings 12,141,356 Kenya shillings, giving a variance of Kenya shillings 1,509,775 Kenya shillings, which management referred to have been received from non-governmental entities, but were not disclosed in financial statement for the year under review. 5, that the failure to disclose Kenya shillings 1,509,775 received as claimed from non-governmental entities. The management failed to adhere to section 138.8 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which stipulates that the recipient for a grant or a donation from a development partner, shall record the amount or value of the grant or donation in its books of accounts. 6, that the management did not prepare bank reconciliation statements as provided for in the Public Finance Regulations, County Government 2015, paragraph 91, which states that accounting officer shall ensure bank account reconciliations are completed for each bank account held by the accounting officer every month and submit a bank reconciliation statement not later than 10th of the subsequent month to the county treasury with a copy of the auditor to the auditor general. 7, that no board of survey was conducted by the management during the financial year under review. 8, that there was improper record keeping by management leading to lack of vote book and cash book for facility improvement fund. 9, that the management failed to adhere to Public Finance Management Regulation 2015, paragraph 100, which states that accounting officers shall keep in all offices concerned with receiving cash or making payments or cash book showing receipts and payments, and shall maintain such other books and register as may be necessary for the proper maintenance and production of the account of the vote for which he or she is responsible. 10, that during the financial year under review, the cash book was not checked and signed by the next senior officer or internal auditor. 11, that the management failed to disclose in the financial statement value of assets, including land, building, motor vehicle, hospital equipment, computer, furniture, and fittings. 12, that the management only disclosed pending bills relating to employees' cost of Kenya shillings 2,218,162 Kenya shillings. However, the board minutes of 15th June 2022 refer that the facility own auditors an amount of Kenya shillings 17 million Kenya shillings. Consequently, the difference of Kenya shillings 14,781,338 on a pending bill could not be explained. The committee, therefore, could not ascertain the total pending bills on the facility as at 30th June 2022. 13. That the management did not provide evidence to support medical and clinical expenses totaling to Kenya shillings 1,468,380 at the time of audit and during the time of committee deliberations. 14. That the management collected Kenya shillings 479,009 and no evidence of banking was provided at the time of audit and during committee deliberations to the Public Finance Management Act, to committee deliberations, contrary to Public Finance Management Act, County Government Regulation 2015, paragraph 63(4), which states that all public monies collected by the receiver of revenue or collector of revenue or collected and retained by the county government entity shall be paid into the designated bank account of the county government and shall not be used by any public officer in any manner between the time of their receipts and payment into the bank except as provided by the law. 15. That the management did not provide supporting evidence such as tendering of minutes, bidding from all bidders, quotations, appointment letters to tender opening and evaluation committees, tender committee minutes, tender evaluation committee notification of award, acceptance letters, professional opinion, contract and contract services agreement at the time of audit and during committee deliberations. 16. That during the financial year, the management irregularly procured goods and services amounting to Kenya shillings 159,951 shillings. 17. That the management granted waiver amounting to Kenya shillings 120,000 during the period under review, but did not provide any supporting schedule at the time of audit and during the committee deliberations. Thus, the propriety of the waiver will not be ascertained. 18. The management contravened the executive order number 2 of the 2018, which requires all public institutions to implement e-procurement system. 19. That the management failed to adhere to section 3F of the Kisumu County Health Facility Improvement Fund Act 2021, which provides that the object and purpose of the act is to facilitate retention of money collected by public health facilities for the purpose of supporting the facility to deliver relevant services. 20. That contrary to the requirement of public, Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015, the management did not competitively procure goods and services relating to medical clinical cost of Kenya shillings 2,738,107 during the year under review. Further, there were no supporting procurement documents provided for verification at the time of the audit, and during committee deliberations as such, it was not possible to ascertain the validity of the transactions. 21. That the facility had 3 stalled projects during the year under review, namely maternity theater, pediatric hospital, and perimeter wall. The management was not involved in the implementation of the said projects, therefore could not report on their values. 22. That the hospital did not meet a number of key specifications as prescribed by the Kenya Quality Model for Health Policy Guideline with reference to their medical personnel staffing. committee recommendations. That going forward, the management must adhere to the requirement of section 164(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 on the preparations of the financial statements. 2, that pursuant to the Article 226(5) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which states that if the holder of public office or a political office directs or approves the use of the public fund contrary to the law or instructions, the person is liable for any loss arising from that use and shall make good the loss whether the person remains in the office or in the office holder or not. The accounting officer for the Department of Health, Sanitation and Medical Services immediately initiates recovery of Kenya shillings 2,771,463 from Dr. Vincent Omondi, who was the accounting officer of the facility during the year under review. The report on the initiation of the recovery be submitted to the Assembly within a period of 60 days upon adoption of this report. 3, that going forward, the management must adhere to section 138(8) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which stipulates that the recipient of a grant or a donation from a development partner shall record the amount or value of the grant or donation in its books of accounts. 4, that in future, the management must adhere to the Public Finance Regulations County Government 2015, paragraph 91, which states that accounting officer shall ensure that bank account reconciliations are completed for each bank account held by that accounting officer every month and submit a bank reconciliation statement not later than 10th of the subsequent month to the county treasury with a copy to the Auditor General. 5, that going forward, the management must undertake bank reconciliations on a monthly basis to avoid errors. 6, that going forward, the management must undertake annual board of survey and prepare a report on the same. 7, that going forward, the management must adhere to the Public Finance Management Regulation 2015, paragraph 100, which states that the accounting officer shall keep in all offices concerned with the receiving cash and making payments a cash book showing receipts and payments, and shall maintain such other books and register as may be necessary for the proper maintenance and production of the account of the votes for which he or she is responsible. 8, that going forward, the management must ensure that the cash book is checked and signed by the next senior officer. 9, that the accounting officer initiates with immediate effect valuation of all fixed assets and report on the same be submitted to this assembly within a period of 90 days upon adoption of this report. 10, the management immediately prepare an up-to-date fixed asset register, including value of assets purchased by the facility, and submit a status report within a period of 14 days upon the adoption of this report. 11, the CEC member of Finance, ICT, and Economic Planning constitute a task force within 30 days upon adoption of this report to ascertain the accuracy and the value of the pending bills as at the 30th June 2022. That a report of the task force be submitted to the Assembly within 90 days upon constitution of the task force. 12, that the management is hereby instructed to immediately suspend any payment related to the said pending bills until the outcome of the process is determined. 13, that pursuant to the Article 226(5) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which says that if the holder of the public office or a political office directs or approves the use of public fund contrary to the law or instructions, the person is liable for any loss arising from that use and shall make good the loss whether the person remains the office holder or not. The accounting officer, Department of Health, Sanitation and Medical Services immediately initiated recovery of Kenya shillings 1,486,380 shillings from Dr. Vincent Omondi, the then medical superintendent, who is also the accounting officer. A status report be submitted to this assembly within a period of 90 days upon adoption of this report. 14, that going forward, the management must adhere to public finance management, county government regulation 2015, paragraph 64, 63(4). 15, that pursuant to the Act 226(5) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which states that if the holder of the public office or a political office directs or approves the use of public fund contrary to the law or instructions, the person is liable for any loss arising from that use and shall make good the loss, whether the person remains the office holder or not. Their accounting officer, Department of Health, Sanitation, and Medical Service immediately initiate a recovery of Kenya shillings 159,950 from Dr. Vincent Omondi, the then medical superintendent, accounting officer, and status report be submitted to the assembly within a period of 90 days upon adoption of this report. 16, that going forward, the management must ensure that waiver and exemptions granted to the patients are well documented and sufficiently supported with the relevant schedule. 17, that going forward, the management must comply with the Executive Order number 2 of 2018. 18, that going forward, the management must adhere to the Section 3F of the Kisumu County Health Facility Improvement Fund Act 2021, which provides that the object and purpose of the Act is to facilitate retention of money collected by public health facilities for the purpose of supporting the facilities to deliver relevant services. 19, that going forward, the management must adhere to Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. 20, that the management to fast-track completion of the stalled projects. 2021, that going forward, the management must be involved in any project within the facility. 22, that the accounting officer, Department of Health, Sanitation, and Medical Services demonstrate to this assembly by way of reporting corrective measures taken to adhere to the Kenya Quality Model for Health Policy Guideline within 60 days upon adoption of this report. 23, the management must adhere to Section 155(1)(a) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. 23, 24, that going forward, the Board of Management must adhere to Guideline 1.81(b) of the Mwongozo Code of Governance. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I hereby request the House to adopt this report on the examination of the Auditor General's report on the financial statement of Kombewa County Hospital financial year 2021-2022. May I call upon Honorable Geoffrey Warindu to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to second the report by the PICPAC chair. And indeed, if you look at the recommendations that have been given, they are very detailed, and we want to believe that they will be implemented as recommended by the committee. If you look at the issues that were given, actually Kisumu has been known for adverse audit opinions, and this one is now a disclaimer, the worst one. Those who are preparing the financial statements, I want to believe they took this for granted, because if you look at the first issue, which was failure to adhere to the reporting template which was given, and this was just a matter of taking the passport size photos of the management team and giving a brief introduction of their qualification, which I believe they were able to get. And during the time of the audit, that was not availed, and even during the time of committee deliberations, that was still not availed, something they could have easily given to the audit team and the committee. The second one was inaccuracies in their financial statements amounts. There were so many variances between the financial statement balances and the supporting schedules. The supporting schedules that were there were not matching with what they had in their financial statement balances. And I had said this before, that some of these supporting schedules are just manufactured just for the sake of auditing and they are not the accurate representation of what is needed. Again, there is variance in transfer from the county government. What the county government is indicating that they transfer to the facilities is also different from what they are recording in their financial statements. And I want to believe that with the recommendations that are given this time around, we are going to, the recommendations are going to be taken seriously, and the person who was kept, the person who is found culpable of this misappropriation will be brought to book. One of the reasons when we are having an engagement with the audit team and the management team was that most of these facilities does not have a certified accountant. We had only one accountant, a roaming accountant, who was making the statements for all these facilities. And the responses that were being given were just the same across the board, across all the facilities that were there. And one of the recommendations that we gave to the department is that they need to deploy certified accountants to these facilities. Then again, you'll find that most of the people who are in charge of these facilities, when these amounts were being used, have been transferred to other facilities. So when they come here to defend their statements, those who are directly linked with these statements cannot be found. And to make it even more interesting, they are still with the county government of Kisumu, and they have been transferred to other facilities. And when we are requesting for them to appear before the committee, they usually fail up to do so. I want to believe that the House is going to adopt this report, and we are looking forward for the recommendations to be implemented. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I second.
Honorable members, now that the Honorable Chair for Committee of PICPAC has moved a motion, that is a motion for adoption of a report of the PICPAC Committee on examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statement of Kombewa Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022. As per our standing orders that having been seconded, I want to propose a question. And I propose that the motion adoption of a report of PICPAC Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statements of Kombewa Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022 is open for debate. Honorable Seth Okum.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to support the adoption of this report and its recommendation. But Honorable Speaker, allow me to also go further and implore my colleagues that audit reports is a pointer to the government on what has gone wrong, and it's also a way of telling the government on where or what they can correct. Honorable Speaker, if you read the auditor's report, it's telling us that Kombewa Sub-County Hospital is supposed to operate optimally with 75 staff. But currently it's only having 35 staff. That means it's having a deficit of 40 staff with different cadres. Honorable Speaker, as much as we expect a very good report from them, it is beyond the accounting officer to get these staffs to the hospital. And I want to implore on this House that this tells us that Kombewa Sub-County Hospital really and direly needs staff. And as we plan for the budget in this for the next upcoming budget, amongst the staff that we need are staff for health, and Kombewa should be a beneficiary. Honorable Speaker, on the same report, I am a member of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee. Honorable Speaker, as we invited the management of that hospital, it was confirmed that this report was made by the MedSoup, who is the accounting officer, and the administrator. Not because they liked it that way, but because that is the staff that is available for them to do a report. And as they were making some of the things that were needed for accounting purposes, they didn't know the importance of them. It is not an excuse, but it's a requirement that statements of account are signed by an accountant with an ISPAC number. Honorable Speaker, this is not provided for Kombewa Sub-County Hospital and several other county hospitals. And honorable members, I implore on us that for these sub-county hospitals to operate so well with the law that we passed, which is Facility Improvement Fund Act, because now they have to be audited as hospitals because they are procuring entities. They need to have certified accountants. Whether we are going to have one per sub-county, whether we are going to have one in each and every hospital, honorable members, I suggest that this report tells us that our sub-county hospitals need certified accountants who can help them prepare statements of account. Honorable Speaker, several recommendations have been made on this report. But I would prefer that we don't put the whole blame on one person. I remember when we were having the Office of the Auditor General here and we were asking questions, he challenged us as honorable members that imagine that primary school in your village that is only having teachers, but they have to be audited. Imagine that secondary school that has just been started in your village that is only having a principal and maybe 4 teachers employed by TSC, but it's a requirement that they be audited. He implored on us to help these facilities grow. Audit is done to ensure proper use of public resources, but it is also our responsibility to ensure that for this to be done, we facilitate what is necessary for prudent use of these resources. So, honorable members, the recommendations on this report are good, and some of them, if implemented, will help us in ensuring that the resources we put in our facilities are spent well for the benefit of the people of Kisumu County. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the adoption of this report.
Honorable Beni Petaiko.
Honorable Speaker, this report is a worthy report. It tells us a true picture of what is happening in our health facilities, and the onus is with us as the Assembly to interrogate and pinpoint where the mistake is. Mr. Speaker, when they were starting their report, they have talked of appropriate action, which is wonderful, Mr. Speaker. They have also referred us to Article 2265, which states what action should be taken when there is financial mismanagement. These are the kind of reports which, when we had talking of the executive who are messing records, will be scared, and corrective measures will be taken, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to digress a little. Yesterday, Implementation Committee had the Health Department here, and this element of adverse reports in health facilities came up. And we were given an answer that the adverse reports are there because the Assembly passed an act of Facility Improvement Fund that allowed the health facilities to receive their funds and spend. But a very key element has been forgotten, that when they are spending this money, who are supposed to handle the funds? And as we all know, the accountants are not employees of health department. These are employees of finance department. The finance department of Kisumu County forgot to provide accountants, people with finance knowledge, to health department, and left the doctors to battle with how to handle the money. That is the picture we are getting here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if we look at a page here, and on page 9, you will find the officers mentioned, the MedSoup, Dr. Vincent Omondi, Hospital Administrative Officer Bernard Ogada, and Godfrey Omondi, a clerical officer. People with finance background are not here. And this is a sure way of poor finance management at the health facilities. So, Mr. Speaker, the health committee must come up and handle this matter with the health department and finance department, so that the relevant personnel are posted to our health facilities, so that we don't get this kind of report. Because when we expected the doctor to treat and to manage the money, we shall be giving the doctor a lot of unnecessary work, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, as has been recommended in this report, money was collected over 409,000 not back. And we are not told how it was spent. The money transferred from the executive to the health facility also has errors. The money got from the national NGO, some NGOs are also not properly recorded. We are also being told that the trial balance was not balancing. There was the 10 million and the 12 million, a difference of about 1.5 million. Mr. Speaker, these are the kind of reports that when we get, we become sincere and we pinpoint where the mistake has come from. The Department of Finance must be asked to do the necessary by employing the people with finance knowledge to help our health facilities, so that we don't get this kind of reports. And then our doctors will just do good work. When it now comes out that the assembly is pinning a medical doctor down for mismanagement of money, someone who cannot explain what a trial balance is, we shall be asked, there's something wrong with our system. So I appreciate this report, Mr. Speaker, and I throw this report back to the health committee to take up this matter seriously, and we get a report that in all our sub-county hospitals, in all our big hospitals, we have finance people who are handling matters of money, not the medical doctors. I so contribute.
Honorable Bailey, I had advised you previously that the rules of debate is that you must take side, whether you are supporting or opposing, or you are abstaining to debate. I think that is the best practice that we have.
But, Mr. Speaker, when you look at my contribution from the beginning up to the end, I've given thumbs up on this report, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Benny, we have a practice of assembly. You either support or oppose. It's as simple as such. So please take that advice.
It is taken, Mr. Speaker. I support.
I want to presume that silence means no other member want to contribute. So somebody should call the mover to reply. Honorable Kelvin, you can call the mover to reply.
I think it will be not in order for us just to assume that things are okay and we don't contribute. Mr. Speaker, I also rise to support the report, but I was very keen. I don't know why my colleague and an honorable member from Kolua East decided not to sign the report. Maybe he was not in support or something else happened, but it is in good practice if the report indicates if there's a dissenting voice or maybe a failure why a report has not been signed. Mr. Speaker, the report is all about a facility within the county, semi-sub-county to be specific. And the major thing in the report and why one of the members was defending an administrator who doubles up as an accounting officer, that they should not be blamed. As Assembly, we need to take a stand and say, even in the recommendation, the report should have also included that one of the recommendations is to order the Department of Finance to post an accountant to that facility with immediate effect. Reason, the Assembly, the report is brought to the Assembly not only to be part of the people lamenting, but to also offer direction, because somebody had refused to act, somebody knows that there's no accountant there, and he has just decided to ignore. And because the Assembly will now look at it in terms of the county and what is supposed to be done, I think that their point towards recommendation, they should ensure through a recommendation that an accountant to be posted in that facility. Mr. Speaker, you will agree with me that issue of accounting and issue of managing funds squarely rest with the executive member for finance, and he knows why some of these areas that will always bring an audit query is the one responsible and is the one supposed to be checking and ensuring that almost everything is done well according to the accounting principles and anything necessary to make their work easier. But when it reaches a point where we can be given a report having not observed that, then that's an area next time I think the committee can also try to know from the executive member if we have shortage of accountants or why they are not supporting the facility well. I think the major aim of the governor or any county is to ensure that Kombewa can grow and become a very big hospital in future. And for that reason, we need to support it fully. Some of these reports that we discussed today are not only for the consumption of Assembly, but they become open to the public. Any query raised always have a bad name and brings a lot of question. It's not about the 3-4 of us who will debate about it, but it is what the public will, if they get chance to read, how will they take it? So for that reason, as members representing Kisumu County, given authority by the people and the Constitution of Kenya and any law, I believe that this is just a wake-up call that we or the Health Committee should always ensure that all the sub-county or the county referral hospital have necessary staff to handle issue of finance so that in future we don't have problems and complaints that there is no personnel to work there. Outside here, we have many youths who are unemployed, youths who are looking for job opportunities, youths who have done accounting up to the level of CPA-K, others have degree just sitting there, and it is high time, if there is shortage, it is highlighted and a budget is made so that we can try to solve the problem. For the practice and for the report that has been brought by the committee, which has done a good work with the 2 sittings they have mentioned, we can say it was nice. The only thing that was noted, it is so voluminous for members to actually talk about it today because of the many things and instruments that I've quoted. But with time, I believe with a brief and a point to where members, you want members to at least share what you witness as a committee, it will always be advisable to point to that area so that unanimously we can join as assembly and give a proper support and a proper recommendation on the same. For the committee members, it was a good work. The chair, you have always tried. And I think your committee is leading by the number of reports that has ever been discussed in this assembly. My only worry is that if this report of yours and recommendation are implemented, then we'll be heading on the right way. I support, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, going by the mood of this House, I call upon the mover to reply.
Honorable Kennedy Ugo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank all the members who contributed and all those who listened to the report. I hope they were taking notes on important recommendations we had and the observations we made here. I would like to talk about issues as I reply. It is true that all the problems within our hospitals, within the sub-county hospitals, and including Jaramogi, can only be cured by the resolutions of this House, and only if they are implemented. It is quite unfortunate that we are bringing to your attention that Kombewa sub-county hospital, with all that capacity, has only a clerk, cashier, and they cannot come with a financial statement. And you know what a trial balance it is? It is the trial balance that informs a financial statement. The moment trial balance has a lot of disparities and all those things, you don't expect a proper financial statement from the hospital. It is quite unfortunate. And this is why we are recommending. We had recommended and we even involved a director, one of the people from the executive, who was seated here while we were interrogating the fund managers, fund officers. And he also accepted that it is necessary they post an accountant, a qualified accountant, duly registered to handle financial matters at those hospitals. And they promised to do it. And they promised that when we come, for when the next financial statement comes to the House, audited statement, we will find that they have posted one. So we are waiting for that promise because it is only next year. It is also unfortunate that the financial statement which was presented to the auditor was done by a medical doctor who had no financial background at all. And he revealed here, he had to do it as a requirement, but he knew very well that he was dipping his hand in a very hot water, but he had to do it as the one in charge of the hospital. As much as we were trying to sympathize with the doctor, we had to follow the law. This is why he was directed here to repay, and he will repay because he's the one in charge. I also had some member of PICPAC trying to probably contradict. Next time I would like to probably advise that member of a PICPAC, kindly please do your submissions within the committees. When you come here and you send your signature to a report, do what is expected. We also have issues of facility. There are perimeters of dealing with this act, and it is very clear. It doesn't give a medical officer or a fund manager an opportunity to take money from the public. We also have the Constitution, which is the guiding principle on any act. So we don't take note on somebody trying to say they were given opportunity to manage the hospitals. They were given an opportunity to manage the hospitals, not to steal from the public coffers. We also had a lot of problems in terms of flooding, not flooding, but in terms of staffing. The moment we don't have staffs, the hospital may not have opportunity to institute internal mechanism to control what is happening. So these are some of our recommendations. I hope you have heard very clearly we are recommending that the staffing be improved so that they deliver. This is one of the things, one of the recommendations we have here. Otherwise, we are happy for the support you have always given the PICPAC committee. This is not our committee. This is a committee of the House, the County Assembly of Kisumu, and in fact the face of the oversight role done on financial matters on the executive. So any support, we can only do whatever we are doing from your support. We always ask your support. Even during the time you will be apportioning money to the committees. Kindly please, the parties concerned, remember that you had the majority leader mentioning some of the reports which have already been submitted to the House. We have a lot of work, but with all the necessary support given to us and the leadership of the House, we will manage it. Thank you. I beg to reply.
Honorable members, now that the motion adoption of report of the PICPAC committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statements of Kombewa Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022 have been moved, seconded, debated. I want to put a question. And I put that as many of the opinions that the motion and report of PICPAC committee on examination of the Auditor General report and the financial statement of Kombewa Hospital for the financial year ended June 2022 be adopted. Say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it. And the motion adoption of a report of the PICPAC committee on examination of the Auditor General's report and the statements of Kombewa Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022 have been adopted today, the 14th of May 2024 at 15:42 hours. And I want to direct that the recommendations of the report be communicated to the relevant departments for action and the committee of implementation follow up on the solutions. Next order.
Mr. Speaker and honorable members, there is no any other business in the paper.
Honorable members will be abstaining. There being no any other business in the other paper, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, the 15th of May, 2024 at 9 a.m.